Good day, everyone. I am Lauren Manshaw, and I am a member from Group 3. Before we begin, let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered how researchers come up with numbers like 70% of students prefer online learning or 1 out of 3 teenagers experience academic stress? Well, those numbers don't just appear out of nowhere. Behind those results is a careful process. A process that starts with choosing the right research design and selecting the right sample of people to study. Today, we'll explore how quantitative research design helps researchers collect data using numbers, statistics, and measurable facts, and how sampling procedures make sure those numbers truly represent a population. In simple terms, we will learn how researchers turn a few answers into big conclusions that help improve schools, communities, and even our daily lives. So sit back and let's uncover the science behind the numbers, the world of quantitative research design and sampling procedure. A quantitative research design is the overall framework or plan for a study that focuses on collecting and analyzing numerical data to answer a research question or test a hypothesis. This systematic and objective approach is used to measure variables, find patterns, test causal relationships, and generalize findings to a larger population. There are actually different types of a quantitative research design. First, we have the experimental research design. It is a type of a quantitative research where the researcher controls and manipulates variables to find out the cause and effect relationship between them. Usually, there's an experimental group that receives the treatment and a control group that does not receive the treatment. It is important because it helps researchers prove if one variable truly causes a change in another. This design gives accurate and reliable results since the researcher has fully control over the conditions of the study. Next, we have the quasi-experimental research design. Quasi-experimental design is almost like experimental design, but the participants are not randomly assigned to groups. Researchers still test cause and effect, but they use existing groups instead of creating random ones. It is also important because it allows researchers to study real-life situations where random assignment isn't possible. For example, comparing two existing classes in a school. It's practical and useful in educational and social research. Third, we have the correlational design. Correlational design studies the relationship between two or more variables without changing or controlling anything. It doesn't show cause and effect, only whether the variables are related or connected. It is important because it helps researchers find patterns and connections between variables. This design is often used when experiments are not possible or ethical. Examples: studying if students who spend more time studying get higher grades.
Descriptive research design. A descriptive research design systematically observes and reports the characteristics of a population or phenomenon. It does not change or control anything. It only describes what is happening. The purpose of a descriptive research design is to study a naturally occurring phenomenon or subject of interest. It simply describes a specific characteristics or behavior of a target population. It helps researchers understand what's going on by describing the characteristics or behavior of a group of population. Its importance lies in providing foundational, factual information necessary for understanding a subject and identifying areas for further investigation. Its importance lies in giving basic and factual information that helps us understand a topic better and can serve as a foundation for future studies. The three most common types of descriptive research are survey research, demographic research, and epidemiological research. Survey research. It explores the trends and the characteristics of a group of people. These types collects information from people through questionnaires or interviews to find out their opinions, behaviors, or experiences. It helps explore the trends and characteristics of demographic research. It describes basic life events. It focuses on describing basic life events like gender, age, or occupation. It helps us know the background or profile of a population. Epidemiological research studies different patterns of disease and health. It helps us understand how and why illness spread and how they can be prevented.
So I will be discussing the overall importance of quantitative research design. So quantitative research design is crucial. Because it provides a clear and systematic way to collect data and analyze numerical data. This allows researchers to test hypotheses, identify patterns, and establish relationship between variables and objectivity and precision. Additionally, Understanding the types of quantitative designs ensures that researchers can select appropriate methods for their specific questions, enhancing the validity and impact of their studies. In summary, quantitative research design plays a vital role in advancing knowledge and solving in real-world problems by providing trustworthy data insights that promotes effective actions.
Now we are through with the types of research design and will continue for the next topic, the sampling procedure for quantitative research. The meaning of the title is it's the systematic and formal plan used to select a subset, the sample, of the entire group, the population, so that the numerical data gathered from this subset can be statistically analyzed, reliably used to draw conclusions about the entire population. In short, it's the methodological blueprint for selecting the study participants or elements in a number-based study. First, let's distinguish between the population and the sample. So the population is a group of people possessing a similar characteristic or the entire group you're interested in studying or talking about. Then the sample pertains to the subgroup or a portion from a population. Now, let's also understand why both are important. So, the population is the full group the research defines and wants to make inferences about. Since studying everyone is impractical, a manageable sample is selected to collect data. This representative sample provides the practical means to draw a conclusion about the larger population.
Now let's talk about the meaning and the importance of probability sampling and non-probability sampling. Probability sampling and probability sampling, all individuals from the target population have an equal chance of being selected for the sample. Which is in the probability sampling, everyone in the group has an equal chance to be chosen. While non-probability sampling, a sample is chosen by the researcher from the target population rather than being randomly selected. Which is in non-probability sampling, the researcher would choose who will be the part of the study. The importance of probability sampling is it ensures that the sample represents the whole population, making the result more accurate and reliable. This method helps researchers generalize their findings to a larger group and reduce the risk of bias in the data collection. While the importance of non-probability sampling is it is useful when time, resources, or access to the entire population are limited. This method allows researchers to collect data quickly, and it is often used for explanatory or qualitative research, though it may not fully represent the entire population.
Good day everyone. Today, I am going to discuss what is random sampling and its different types. So first, what is random sampling? Random sampling is a method used by researchers to choose participants where everyone has an equal chance of being selected. This helps make the researcher results fair and unbiased because no one is given special treatment or preference. And now, let's move on to the different types of random sampling. So the first type of random sampling is simple random sampling. In this method, the researcher randomly selects people from a list of the researcher can draw lots or use a computer program to pick 10 students. This means every student has an equal chance to be chosen. And the importance of simple random sampling is that it's the easiest and fairest methods because it gives every member of the population the same chance to be part of the study. Next, we have systematic random sampling. Here, the researcher picks a random starting point, then chooses every nth person on the list. For example, if we start at number 3 and chooses every fifth person, the selected numbers or participants would be numbers 3, 8, 13, 18, and so on. And the importance of systematic random sampling is that it's organized and time-saving. It's very useful when the population is large and you want to make sure the sample is evenly spread out. Lastly, we have stratified random sampling. In this method, the population is divided into smaller groups called subgroups or strata, like by gender, age, or grade level. Then, the researcher randomly chooses participants from each subgroup. For example, if there are boys and girls, the researcher might randomly select 5 boys and 5 girls. Both groups are fairly represented. The importance of stratified random sampling is that it ensures every subgroup in the population is represented fairly. This makes the results more accurate and balanced.
Hello everyone! Today, we are diving into what sampling is, why it matters, and the two types of sampling, the convenience sampling and the quota samplings. Now, let's explore our first sampling types, which is the convenience sampling. In convenience sampling, the researchers recruit participants who are readily available and accessible to participate in the research study. This approach is all about ease and speed. For example, if you're studying student opinion in campus life, you might survey people hanging out in the cafeteria or library because they're right there. It's quick to set up and great for pilot studies or when resources are limited. Next up, code sampling. Code sampling involves selecting people from different subgroups from the target population. It is a way to build a diverse sample by setting fixed quotas for different groups and population, like picking 10 young adults, 10 seniors, and 10 middle-aged people. You fill each quota without random selection, ensuring the sample reflects key demographics. It's handy for market research to capture varied views, better than just grabbing whoever is easy, but it risks bias if quotas are off or groups are hard to find.
In purposive sampling, the researcher chooses their participants intentionally because they are considered as more suitable for the research study. Purposive samplings allows you to focus on the most relevant knowledge or experience about your research topic, while snowball sampling is done when the researcher contacts new potential participants having similar characteristics as them. Snowball samplings involves finding and recruiting participants, so purposive sampling is a purpose for choosing your participants, while snowballs sampling finding and recruiting participants.
This is the overall importance of the topic. Data collection in research involves gathering information through primary and second data sources. Primary data are first-hand materials such as journals, diaries, evaluative records, artifacts, specimens, framework, survey forms, and official statistics. These are gathered directly by researching during their studies. In contrast, secondary data include web information, published articles, and existing research that supports current studies. Quantitative research, data collection methods are systematic and measurable.
And that's all. Data speaks louder than words, and quantitative research is the language that makes it heard. Thank you for listening. This is Group 3.